There are moments in life when everything seems still, too still, when prayers feel like they echo back empty, when heaven feels quiet, and the waiting becomes heavier than the burden itself. Some of you know that feeling all too well. You've prayed until your voice trembled, believed until your faith felt stretched thin, and yet nothing seems to move. But hear me today, God does some of His greatest work in the seasons when it feels like nothing is happening. When you plant a seed, nothing pushes through the soil right away. You water it, you watch it, you wonder if anything is changing. But under that soil, where no eye can see, life is forming, roots are spreading, strength is developing. And suddenly, when the time is right, the unseen becomes seen. That is exactly what God is doing in your life right now. Your miracle is not missing. It is maturing. I want to remind you of something powerful. Delay is not denial. God's timing is not a punishment, it is a preparation. If you received everything you prayed for instantly, you would never learn to trust, never grow in faith, never develop the spiritual backbone needed to carry the blessing on the other side. Think of the people who came before us, ordinary men and women who waited with extraordinary faith. Joseph waited in a prison before he stepped into a palace. David waited in the field long before he ever held a crown. Hannah waited through tears before she ever held her promise in her arms. God didn't forget them. And God hasn't forgotten you. Some of you are carrying a dream, a calling, a promise that seems too far gone. You've started to wonder if maybe you misheard God. Maybe it wasn't meant for you. Maybe life has passed you by. But I came to tell you today, the miracle you've been waiting for is not only real, it's on its way. God does not plant a promise in your heart only to abandon it. What He starts, He finishes. What He speaks, He fulfills. What He ordains, He delivers. But to receive what is coming, you must get ready. Get ready spiritually. Get ready mentally. Get ready emotionally. Get ready in faith. Because when God moves, He moves suddenly. He moves swiftly. And He moves in ways that leave no doubt that it was His hand and His hand alone. Some of you will experience breakthroughs that will make you say, I had received this earlier. I wouldn't have appreciated it. I wouldn't have been prepared for it. I wouldn't have been strong enough to hold it. Sometimes the wait is what builds the strength. Sometimes the silence is what builds the trust. Sometimes the struggle is what builds the character. Let me tell you a story. A man once prayed for God to open a door for him. Every day he asked, every day he believed, but the door seemed locked. For years he waited. One day, after feeling discouraged, he said, "Lord, why haven't you opened the door?" And he felt God whisper in his heart, "I wasn't preparing the opportunity, I was preparing you." When the door finally opened, he realized that everything he learned during the wait was exactly what he needed to walk through it. Some of you are in that same season. You're asking for the door to open, and God is strengthening the hands that will turn the handle. You're asking for the miracle to come, and God is preparing your heart to carry it. You're asking for the blessing, and God is shaping your character so that when you receive it, it will not destroy you, it will develop you. Hear this, God is not slow. He is strategic. He is not late. He is lining things up. He is not withholding something from you. He is protecting something for you. You may think you're waiting on God, but many times He is waiting on you, waiting for you to trust again, to believe again, to hope again, to pick up your faith where you left it and say, "Lord, I don't see the way yet, but I know You are the way. I don't see the answer yet, but I know You are faithful." Today, lift your eyes. Your miracle is not behind you. It is not lost. It has not expired. It is in motion, heading toward you even now. Heaven is moving on your behalf. Angels are assigned. Doors are shifting. Favor is aligning. The supernatural is working in places you cannot see. If you only knew what God was doing in the background of your life, you wouldn't be discouraged. You'd be dancing. You wouldn't be giving up. You'd be gearing up. Because what's coming is bigger than what you prayed for. It's greater than what you imagined. It's more powerful than what you've hoped for. And when it arrives, when God brings it forth, you'll look back on this season of waiting and say, now I understand. It was all worth it. God didn't forget me. God didn't leave me. God was setting the stage for a miracle that would change everything. So don't let fear talk you out of what God is about to do. Don't let doubt blind you to what is coming. Don't let discouragement make you settle for less. Lift up your spirit. Lift up your faith. Something is shifting. Something is breaking. Something is moving. Your health can change. Your finances can turn around. Your home can be restored. Your mind can be renewed. Your heart can be healed. Your future can be redeemed. God specializes in the impossible. And the miracle you've been waiting for is closer than your next breath. Hold on. Stay ready. Keep believing. Because God is already on the way with your breakthrough. And when it arrives, it won't just bless you. It will overflow into every part of your life. Your miracle is already in motion, even when you cannot see any signs. And this truth is often the hardest to hold on to. When life feels silent, when heaven feels distant, and when nothing around you seems to reflect what you've been praying for, it becomes easy to assume that nothing is happening at all. But the work of God is not limited to what your eyes can observe. His greatest movements are often hidden beneath the surface, unfolding in ways that cannot yet be measured by sight or felt by emotion. Just because you do not see the miracle does not mean it's not advancing toward you right now. Think about how seeds grow. When a farmer plants a seed, there is no instant sign of life. Days pass, sometimes weeks, and the soil remains still. But beneath that quiet ground, transformation is taking place. Roots are forming, strength is being built, and life is expanding in dark, hidden places. The farmer knows better than to assume stillness means nothing is happening. He trusts the process. In the same way, God is working beneath the surface of your circumstances. You may not see the breakthrough yet, but the foundation for it is being built in places you cannot see. So often, people give up right before something changes. They pray, they believe, they try, but when the results don't match their expectations, they assume the miracle is delayed or denied. But the truth is, God rarely reveals His work until the perfect moment. He shapes things quietly, aligning opportunities, adjusting circumstances, opening pathways, and preparing hearts. What looks like inactivity is actually divine activity in disguise. Heaven doesn't need to announce its movements. It simply moves with purpose. There are times when God shields the process from you intentionally. If He showed you everything He was doing, you might rush ahead, interfere, or attempt to control things meant to grow on His timing alone. The hiddenness is protection. The silence is strategy. God is never late, never confused, never uncertain. He is deliberate. Every detail is placed with precision, every moment measured with intention. What you think is a delay is often God perfecting what needs to be prepared so that when the miracle arrives, it stays. You may feel forgotten, but you are not. You may feel overlooked, but heaven sees you. You may feel stuck, but things are shifting in unseen places. Every prayer you prayed, every tear you cried, every seed of faith you planted is accounted for. Nothing is wasted with God. He gathers every moment of your waiting and weaves it into the timing of your breakthrough. And while you are wondering if anything is happening, God is saying, I'm doing more than you think, more than you see, more than you know. All around you, things you cannot sense are aligning. People are being positioned. Doors are being prepared. Influence is being arranged. Answers are being shaped. What you asked for is not sitting still. It is moving toward you, step by step, moment by moment, drawn by the promises God has spoken over your life. God uses seasons of waiting to strengthen and prepare you for what's coming, even when the process feels uncomfortable or confusing. Waiting is not wasted time, it is shaping time. It is in these silent seasons that God does some of His most transformative work. When life slows down and your prayers seem unanswered, that is often the very moment God is building endurance, deepening faith, and forming a resilience inside you that you will need for the blessings ahead. What feels like a pause is actually preparation, a divine setup for something greater than you can see right now. Waiting tests the heart. It reveals what you really believe when the evidence is not visible. Anyone can have faith when the answer is immediate, but true faith is forged in the tension between promise and fulfillment. It is in that between space that your trust is purified and strengthened. God allows this because He knows that your character must be strong enough to carry the weight of your miracle. A blessing received too early can become a burden. A gift you're not ready for can overwhelm you. The wait is not God withholding something from you. It is God building something within you. Every great person in Scripture endured a season of waiting before stepping into what God promised. These waiting seasons were not punishments, they were classrooms. They learned patience, humility, obedience, and perseverance. They learned to rely on God instead of their own strength. They learned that the journey is just as important as the destination. You are in that same process now. What feels like a delay is often God ensuring you're prepared for the responsibility that will come with the answer to your prayer. Waiting creates clarity. In rushed moments, motives can be mixed, decisions can be hurried, and desires can be clouded. But in stillness, your heart becomes clearer. You start to understand what truly matters. You let go of things that once seemed important but no longer align with your purpose. You develop discernment, and you become more sensitive to God's voice. The longer the wait, the deeper the shaping. This is not punishment, it is precision work by the hand of God. Waiting also strengthens your spiritual muscles. Faith grows when it is stretched. Patience grows when it is tested. Hope grows when it is challenged. And gratitude grows when you learn to appreciate even the smallest signs of progress. These qualities cannot be developed in seasons of ease. They are built in seasons of pressure. God allows these moments because He knows the strength you build now will sustain you later. Sometimes God uses waiting to shift things around you. He prepares people, positions opportunities, and opens paths that were not ready before. Your miracle is not only about you, it is connected to places, timing, and people. If He moved too soon, the elements around you wouldn't be in place. So while you wait, God aligns scenes you know nothing about, connects dots you cannot see, and arranges details that must be perfected before the miracle arrives. There is purpose in the pause. God sees what you do not. He knows what is coming, and He knows what you need to handle it. The waiting season is shaping you for the blessing, refining you for the breakthrough, and strengthening you for the miracle on its way to your life. Delay is not denial. Timing is part of God's strategy, and understanding this truth can lift a heavy burden from your heart. So many people assume that when God doesn't answer immediately, it means the answer is no. But more often, God is simply aligning things far beyond what you can see or imagine. His timing operates on a different rhythm than ours, and what feels late to human eyes is perfectly timed in the divine plan. Every delay carries purpose, and every pause is loaded with intention. God is never slow, He is precise. When a dream or prayer seems to stall, it's natural to question what went wrong. But sometimes nothing is wrong at all. You're not being punished. You're not forgotten. You're not overlooked. You're being positioned. There is a divine choreography to your life, and God knows exactly when each step should unfold. Moving too soon could lead you into something unprepared, unstable, or incomplete. But moving at the right moment brings strength, protection, and favor. Delay, in God's hands, becomes a safeguard. Many of the greatest blessings require timing, not just faith. Think of a fruit that is picked too early. It cannot be enjoyed. It is not ready. But if left on the tree long enough, it becomes sweet, strong, and nourishing. God's answers are similar. If He gave you everything at the moment you asked, some blessings would arrive underdeveloped. Some promises would be too immature to handle. God holds the timing so that when your miracle arrives, it comes at full strength, in fullness and in its best form. There are moments when God allows delay to protect your journey. You may be ready for the blessing, but the environment around you may not be. People may need to shift. Opportunities may need to open. Obstacles may need to be removed. There are things in the unseen world that must align before your breakthrough can safely arrive. So what looks like a delay to you may actually be God clearing the road ahead. If He answered too early, you might face unnecessary battles or miss key divine connections. Delay also strengthens faith. It stretches you to believe without seeing, to trust without evidence, to hope without proof. This kind of faith is powerful. It builds spiritual maturity and deep resilience. You start to recognize that your confidence is not rooted in timing, but in the character of God. Waiting teaches you that His word is more dependable than your timeline. And once you learn that, nothing can shake you. Sometimes delay is the womb of transformation. In the waiting, your mindset changes. Your priorities shift. Your desires refine. You begin to want what God wants for you instead of what you wanted in your impatience. The delay becomes the very place where your heart is molded to receive the answer in a deeper, wiser, more grateful way. There are blessings that only make sense in hindsight. When you finally step into what God has been preparing, you will understand why He didn't answer earlier. You will see that every moment of delay carried hidden mercy, hidden purpose, and hidden protection. God's strategy always includes timing, and His timing is always perfect. As you stand in this moment, with everything you've walked through and everything you've prayed for, I want you to understand something. Deep in your spirit, you are not forgotten, and you are not behind. You are right where God needs you to be for the miracle that is unfolding. Even if life feels uncertain, even if you've been waiting longer than you ever expected, even if your faith has grown tired, or your heart has felt stretched thin, heaven has not overlooked a single detail of your journey. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided, shaped, and prepared for something far greater than what you can see right now. Every step you've taken, every tear you've cried, every prayer you've whispered in the dark, God has gathered them. None of it is wasted. What felt like delay was shaping your strength. What felt like silence was deepening your faith. What felt like stillness was God arranging things behind the scenes in ways you could not imagine. Sometimes the greatest miracles are born in seasons where you feel the least movement, because God works best in places where human effort cannot interfere. He does His finest work when your hands are empty and your heart is surrendered. Look back for a moment at everything you have survived. You've made it through storms you didn't think you could withstand. You've overcome battles that tried to break you. You've stood through nights that felt endless, and you're still here. Stronger, wiser, more grounded. That alone is proof that God has been carrying you, even when you didn't realize it. If He has brought you this far, He is not about to leave you now. There is too much purpose on your life, too much calling in your spirit, too much promise yet to be fulfilled. Your miracle isn't something distant or uncertain. It is something already in motion, something moving toward you with divine intention. There are blessings with your name on them, breakthroughs crafted specifically for your story, answers shaped for the exact needs of your heart. What God started, He is going to finish. What He promised, He is going to fulfill. The waiting season does not end in disappointment. It ends in divine completion. You are on the edge of something holy, something powerful, something transformational. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, let hope rise again. The same God who walked with you in the valley is the God who is leading you to the mountaintop. The same God who heard you in the silence is the God who is preparing to show Himself in power. The same God who allowed the waiting is the God who will deliver the miracle at the perfect time. Get ready. Stay expectant. Keep your heart open. Because what you've been praying for, longing for, believing for, it's closer than you think. The miracle you've been waiting for is not just coming, it's almost here.